In Christianity, angels are arranged into 9 choirs. These 9 choirs are grouped into 3 levels, called spheres. The first sphere is closest to human life and includes the angels who work with people and everyday events. Above them is the second sphere, which focuses on larger parts of creation. The highest sphere is closest to God and includes the angels who stay in His presence. This hierarchy does not mean that one group is more valuable than another. It simply shows that angels have different roles and different distances from God. All 9 choirs are part of God's creation, and all of them help keep order in the universe. In the angelic hierarchy, angels are the group that works closest to human life. Their job focuses on individual people and everyday situations. This makes them different from higher orders of angels, who deal with nations, creation, or large events. Angels are involved with personal guidance, protection, and communication, and they appear more often in the Bible than any other type of angel for this reason. One of the main roles of angels is guiding people. In many Bible stories, an angel shows up when someone needs help making an important choice or understanding what to do next. Angels can guide people through dreams, thoughts, or personal encounters. They do not force anyone to act. Instead, they give direction so the person can make a clearer decision. This guidance is meant to help individuals stay on the right path and not feel alone during difficult moments. Angels are also known for protecting people. Christian tradition teaches that every person has a guardian angel assigned to them for life. A guardian angel watches over a person's physical safety and helps them make good choices. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus talks about angels who are always watching over those under their care, which supports this belief. Guardian angels are not dramatic or loud. Their work is steady, quiet, and long-term, making sure that a person is never fully unprotected. Another important responsibility of angels is delivering messages from God. In the Gospel of Luke, angels bring news to shepherds about the birth of Jesus. When angels deliver messages, they speak clearly and use simple language so people can understand. This is why angels often appear as regular human beings in the Bible. Appearing in this familiar way makes communication easier and prevents fear or confusion. The letter to the Hebrews describes angels as servants sent to help those who are meant to follow God. This shows that angels focus on supporting people in their daily lives. They help individuals during important events, encourage them when they are unsure, and strengthen them when they need hope. Because they are the lowest order in the hierarchy, angels interact with humans more than any other group. Their work is personal and practical. They guide, protect, and communicate with individuals, which makes them the most familiar and relatable type of angel in Christian tradition. Archangels are the next group in the angelic hierarchy after regular angels. While regular angels work with individual people and everyday situations, archangels deal with bigger events that affect large groups of people. Their work can influence nations, communities, and important moments in history. Because of this, archangels show up less often, but their appearances signal that something major is happening. The main job of archangels is delivering important messages from God that affect the future, not just the present moment. When a message needs to be remembered, or when it changes the direction of history, an archangel is usually the one sent. Their messages are clear, direct, and meant to get attention. They help guide humanity through major transitions or new stages in God's plan. Archangels also provide leadership and large-scale guidance. Unlike guardian angels who focus on one person at a time, archangels help guide entire groups. They can warn people about danger, prepare them for what is coming, or reveal information that helps them understand God's purpose. In this way, archangels connect human events to a bigger story that involves more than one life. Another important responsibility of archangels is defending against spiritual danger. In Christian tradition, this means standing against forces that try to bring confusion, fear, or disorder. Archangels act with strength and authority in these situations. Their role in spiritual conflict shows that they protect not just bodies, but also beliefs, faith, and moral order. 3 archangels are especially well known in Christian tradition. Michael is known as a warrior and protector. In the book of Revelation, he leads a battle to defend heaven and keep evil out. Gabriel is known as a messenger. In the Gospel of Luke, Gabriel tells Mary that she will give birth to Jesus, which is one of the most important messages in the Bible. Raphael appears in the book of Tobit and is known for healing and guidance. He helps Tobias during a long journey and brings both physical and emotional healing. These 3 examples show how archangels work on a much larger scale than regular angels. Their presence usually means that something important is happening that will affect many people, not just one person. While archangels deal with big events, principalities work with long-term life in human society. They focus on groups of people, such as nations, cities, and communities. The main job of principalities is to help societies grow in a healthy and peaceful way. They watch over cultures, governments, and important systems that shape how people live together. Their influence moves slowly over time, like a guide helping a community make better choices year after year. Principalities also help leaders. They encourage leaders to make fair and wise decisions that help everyone. These decisions can affect laws, schools, traditions, and public life. Because leaders affect many people at once, the work of principalities can have a wide impact. Principalities usually do not appear in dreams or speak directly to people. Instead, they work quietly in the background. Their presence encourages cooperation instead of conflict. They help societies stay organized, respectful, and connected. Their goal is to keep large groups of people living in peace instead of chaos. The letters of St. Paul mention principalities when talking about different spiritual levels that exist beyond human sight. This supports the idea that certain angels are responsible for watching over large parts of human life, not just individuals. In Christian art, principalities are sometimes shown with crowns or other symbols of leadership. These symbols show their connection to responsibility and guidance, rather than messaging or battle. They do not deliver news like Gabriel, and they do not fight like Michael. But they help societies move in a positive direction over time. In simple terms, principalities help groups of people live well together. They guide communities, cultures, and nations so they can grow, learn, and avoid disorder. Next level belong to the powers. Their work is to protect creation from harm. Their job deals with keeping order and stopping destructive forces from spreading. Instead of helping individuals or guiding leaders, the powers defend the world on a much larger level. The main role of the powers is protection. Christian tradition teaches that there is a real struggle between good and evil, even if humans cannot always see it. The powers stand at the center of this struggle. They guard the world from harmful influences that could bring confusion, chaos, or destruction. Their work helps keep creation stable, so life can continue in a peaceful way. The powers are sometimes described as spiritual warriors, but they do not fight with physical weapons or armies. Their battle is spiritual. This means they fight with authority, discipline, and strength of will. They work to control harmful forces and keep them from affecting people and the world. Because of this, the powers are seen as strong, alert, and ready to act when needed. Without the powers, harmful forces could spread more easily and cause disorder. The powers help make sure that evil does not gain control and that good has room to grow. Their presence creates balance and keeps life from falling into fear or confusion. In the letter to the Ephesians, the Apostle Paul talks about spiritual forces that exist beyond what humans can see. He explains that some struggles in life are connected to these unseen forces. This idea supports the role of the powers as angels, who work behind the scenes to protect the world from spiritual danger. Tradition often shows the powers as warriors wearing armor. These warriors are trained, focused, and ready to defend the world from unseen danger. They guard the boundary between good and evil so that creation can continue in peace. On the other hand, the virtues help keep the natural world running in an orderly way. This role makes them different from the angels below them, who work with people and societies. Their job deals with nature, creation, and miracles. The main role of the virtues is to keep creation active and balanced. Christian tradition teaches that the natural world does not run on its own. Day turns to night, seasons repeat, plants grow, and life continues. The virtues are believed to help guide these natural processes so that the world remains stable and does not fall into disorder. Their work affects the physical universe. The virtues are also connected to miracles, especially miracles that involve healing or renewal. In the Bible, miracles often happen when divine power enters the physical world. For example, when Jesus healed the sick or gave strength to his followers, the early church believed that angels were involved in bringing this power into the world. The virtues are seen as the angels who help deliver this healing power. They help direct God's power through creation. Their work includes both steady, everyday processes, like the changing of the seasons, and sudden events, like physical healings or renewed strength during difficult moments. Pseudo-Dionysius describes the virtues as strong and dependable. He explained that their strength does not weaken, but spreads outward to support life. This idea shows how the virtues help creation grow instead of collapsing. The virtues are often connected to light, because light represents God's power. It's a symbol of life, strength, and clarity. When the world is full of life, and when miracles bring healing and hope, Christians believe the virtues are helping make this possible. Their role is not to shine like lamps, but to carry God's power into nature so it can bring growth and renewal. And because of them, divine power can reach the physical world. As creation grew and more angels were given different tasks, there needed to be a way to keep everything organized. Not every angel has the same job, and some tasks are more complicated than others. For God's plan to run smoothly, someone had to make sure that the right angels were doing the right jobs at the right time. This is where the dominions come in. The dominions are the angels who provide leadership and structure in heaven. Their main responsibility is to oversee the lower choirs of angels and make sure each group understands its role. They focus on helping other angels carry out their missions correctly and without confusion. Without this kind of direction, the work of the angels could become disorganized or delayed. The dominions receive instructions from God and then pass those instructions down through the hierarchy. This creates a clear chain of command. It allows God's will to move from the highest levels of heaven to the angels who work closely with the world. The dominions make sure nothing important is lost or misunderstood as these instructions travel downward. Their leadership is steady and quiet. Their purpose is to keep the whole system running. They make sure that groups work together and that there is no overlap or conflict between missions. The letters of St. Paul support the idea that even the spiritual world has structure, and the dominions are part of that. They help guide the angels beneath them so that God's work can continue without confusion or delay. Sometimes they are shown with crowns, staffs, or robes. These symbols represent leadership and responsibility. They show that the dominions are in charge of directing others, not fighting battles. Their importance comes from their ability to keep everything working together as a whole. Without them, other angels aren't able to complete their missions properly. Among the 9 choirs of angels, the thrones have the job of making sure that God's judgments are carried out fairly. They deal with decisions that affect creation on a large scale. Because of this, the thrones belong to one of the highest groups in the angelic hierarchy. The easiest way to understand their role is to compare them to judges or officials who help apply the rules of a system. God makes the decisions, and the thrones help make sure those decisions are put into action. They do not choose what is right or wrong. They make sure that what is right is followed and that consequences are handled correctly when something goes wrong. This helps prevent unfairness and keeps creation from falling into disorder. The thrones are also known for being calm and steady. They do not rush or react emotionally. Their work is thoughtful and careful because justice requires accuracy. If justice is too harsh or too soft, it creates problems. The thrones help make sure that justice is balanced and appropriate. In the book of Ezekiel, the prophet sees large wheels covered in eyes. Early Christian writers believed these wheels represent the thrones. The many eyes symbolize awareness. Nothing is hidden from them, and they do not make decisions without knowing the full situation. The fact that the wheels can move in any direction without falling or stumbling shows their stability and precision. The book of Daniel also describes a heavenly courtroom where God sits on a throne surrounded by fire and light. This scene helps explain the work of the thrones. It shows that justice in heaven follows a clear process. Things are not decided randomly or without order. The work of the thrones matters because justice affects how creation functions. If wrong actions had no consequences, or if right actions were ignored, creation would fall into confusion. The thrones help prevent this from happening. They make sure that moral laws are respected and that creation does not collapse under unfairness or chaos. After Adam and Eve left the Garden of Eden, the world was no longer the same. Not everything was open or easy to reach. Certain places became special and set apart from ordinary life. These places were directly connected to God, and they were not left unprotected. This is where the cherubim first appear in the story. The first time the cherubim are mentioned in the Bible is in the book of Genesis. After Adam and Eve were removed from the garden, God placed cherubim at the entrance. Their job was to guard the way to the tree of life so that no one could enter without permission. This shows one of their main roles. Cherubim protect holy things. They make sure that sacred places are treated with respect and not approached carelessly. The cherubim appear again later in the Bible, in places connected to God's presence. In the time of Moses, God commanded that images of cherubim be woven into the curtains of the tabernacle, which was the tent where the Israelites worshipped. Cherubim were also placed above the Ark of the Covenant, which held the stone tablets of the Ten Commandments. Wherever cherubim appear, something holy is being guarded. The role of the cherubim focuses on protecting sacred spaces and sacred knowledge. They do not act as teachers who explain things directly to people. Instead, they stand watch and make sure that access to holy places and holy truths is handled properly. Their presence sends a message. God's wisdom is real and must be taken seriously. Cherubim are also connected to knowledge and awareness. They have a deep understanding of divine truth. This knowledge is not learned through experience. It is given to them as part of who they are. Because of this, cherubim are associated with insight, memory, and the ability to see things clearly. The Bible gives vivid descriptions of the cherubim. In the book of Ezekiel, the prophet sees beings with 4 faces: a human, a lion, an ox, and an eagle. Each face represents a different quality, such as wisdom, strength, and life. They also have multiple wings and can move without turning. This shows coordination and awareness in every direction. At the very highest level of the angelic hierarchy are the seraphim. They stand closer to God than any other created beings. Their place is directly in God's presence, where nothing stands between them and God. In Isaiah's vision, God sits on a throne, and the seraphim stand above him. They call out to one another, saying, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory." This shows that worship is their main role. While other angels are sent out to help creation, the seraphim remain with God and give praise without stopping. Their only purpose is to honor God, acknowledge his greatness, and reflect his holiness. Through their praise, they show the perfection and purity of God. Their existence teaches that worship is not just singing, but recognizing who God is. The word seraphim comes from a Hebrew word that means to burn. This idea of fire is often used to explain their closeness to God. The fire in this context means love, purity, and holiness. The seraphim are burning with love for God and are completely devoted to him. Isaiah describes the seraphim as having 6 wings. With 2 wings, they cover their faces, which shows reverence in God's presence. With 2 wings, they cover their feet, which shows humility. With the remaining 2 wings, they fly, ready to serve God through worship. The angelic hierarchy shows us that heaven is not random. From angels who walk beside individuals to seraphim who remain closest to the divine source, each order plays a role in holding the universe together. Some angels guide, some protect, some govern, and some exist only to praise. Together, they form a system that links heaven, earth, and everything in between. Now that you understand the 9 choirs of angels, which one stood out to you the most? Was it the angels closest to humanity, or those who remain nearest to God? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you like the video to help with the algorithm. Keep your minds open, and until we meet again,